Namaskaram everyone. Welcome to Sadhanapada with Abhishek Anna. Back episode 2. so Anna, like, give us weekly updates. I think it's been 2 weeks. How long has it been since we last talked? It's been more
It's
than 2
been
weeks.
more than 2 weeks since we last talked.
So what's
Right
been
now
going on?
it's August 5th. We talked
September. You lost count.
Oh, it's September. Oh my god. It's September 5th right now, and we talked like the third week of Sadhanapada. Sadhanapada started on June 27th. It's been over 2 months now. A lot of things have happened. One of the I think so. Today we'll talk about some of my major breakthroughs that I experienced through this program. Before we get into that, let me just tell you, not every, we talk about highs and lows, and we all experience highs and lows. There's two types of highs and lows. There's internal highs and lows, and there's external highs and lows. So externally, things might be going your way, and things might not be going your way. So we have highs and lows in that sense. Like something's going really well for us, we say it's a good time. If it's not going well for us, we say it's not a good time, right? Like you set certain goals, and you're like, damn, everything's going so amazingly. I'm hitting this, I'm hitting that target.
Right.
I'm getting this, I'm getting that. So you have like a high in that sense. If it's a low, it's like you're doing whatever you can, but you're stuck in a hole, and then like someone's like shoving dirt on top of you. This kind of a situation. So there's that, and there's also highs and lows internally. So one thing recently, I think Sadhguru spoke about this. There was scientists are doing certain research, and they're finding that your gut microbiome, I don't know specifically the exact stuff, but your gut microbiome can determine the experience of your body. So essentially, the joke is like, if you have like all these bacteria and all this stuff, and all that stuff can determine how you feel, like your mood and all these things. This is what like the scientists are saying. If somebody knows of the studies, you can link that, and then we can share it. But essentially, what I'm finding with Sadhanapada is like when you're looking at this, whether it's on the level of the body or the level of the mind, you have different highs and lows. Your body feels a certain way on a certain day, on a day, or your mind feels a certain way on a day. For example, I have to wake up every morning and start my practices.
What time?
5:30 a.m. sharp. Like I have 5:30 a.m. means I have to be seated by like 5:25 a.m. But I'm doing other things, like I have other like yogic sadhana that I've been given. So I do that earlier. So I have to actually be there earlier. I should actually be there 4:50 to do like everything like that. But sometimes I do it later, so I start a little bit after 5. But like I try not to come no later than 5:10, like latest. But even with all these highs and lows, somehow I've managed to like keep that time. Before, I would never do it. So one of the things that I realized is like when I came here and I decided to commit myself to it, like this, with that strong commitment within myself, I've just been able to come in, wake up in the morning, and do that, which is a pretty big deal. Like
Yes,
you can't just
it is.
nobody just joins the 5 a.m. club like that.
Yeah,
That doesn't
yeah.
just happen. Like one thing is the support system here. The support system is so powerful. Nobody comes and wakes up at 5 a.m. unless they have a situation or surroundings that support you to be able to do that, which is incredibly powerful. So for me, even though I have all these highs and lows, both externally in terms of like my volunteering and like all these different situations, right, that we're all a part of. Um, and internally, like my body feels a certain way, my mind feels a certain way, my energy feels a certain way, my emotions are feeling a certain way. Like you might be feeling low or whatever. Still, amidst all that, waking up every single day, it's not just about the 5 a.m. club. They still have to do evening practices.
Yeah.
This is actually the regular schedule here, being at the Isha Yoga Center. So it's not like waking up at a certain time or doing evening practices like that special. But before, I wouldn't always do it. And before I joined Sadhanapada, I was staying here anyways, but I wasn't always doing it. I'd just be like, wake up at 6 a.m., whatever, 7 a.m., whatever, 8 a.m. if I could. Like this kind of things happen. And I think this commitment, one thing I've realized is like being able to do that and being able to stick. There's highs, there's lows, but I'm there, ready to go, like no matter what. And this has really transitioned into the work that I do as well. So more recently, I've noticed I've been able to take on a lot of responsibilities. I'm surprised that I'm taking on this level of activity, this much responsibility and ownership over different functions in whatever I'm responsible for, or like in whatever segment of the organization that I'm working in. And in that, I'm able to take on more than I was before, like ever, or at least about the same. And I'm like this. I'm not like one way or another way. I'm like this, just straight, ready to go, no matter how the situation is. I'll give you an example. One time I walked into an office. There's a Swami on my left, a Swami like a monk or a brahmachari. And then he's calling me, and on my right, there's a photo shoot happening, and these guys are calling me, and behind me, there's another guy who's calling me because for something else, he needs me to give him something. Like, this is the kind of situation, at least once a day, if not a few times a day, I find myself in.
Okay.
But before, I would find myself like a little all over the place, like, okay, what do I need to do? But now, this kind of balance and kind of like the way that I have to deal with these situations is incredible. Like, it's not just about like this one particular kind of situation that I'm describing.
What did you do? What did you do then?
Oh, what did I do in that situation?
Yeah.
Okay. So that guy who was calling me before, I had dealt with him, and I just came back from like talking to him, and then I told the guy who was like taking the photos, like, they both just literally started talking. He's like, hang on, I need to talk to him. And I told the Swami, he's also calling me. I literally just sat down and I told him to continue, and I talked to Swami. And I basically, I gently let them know, like, I'm here. Both of you need my time, and I'm here to give you my time as needed. And I'm here to give instructions or take instructions or have the discussion, whatever it is that we were doing. Like, this is one particular situation, but typically it's something around these things, right? You think telling someone like, this is what we need your help with, or they're telling me like, this is what we need your help with, or are we just coming for a general discussion? Like, typically this is what human interaction, social dynamics are all about when it comes to the workplace. But one aspect is I'm working with people in totally different cultures. Not just totally one culture. It's not a monoculture. It's like a diverse culture. These people are from all over the world here, working on so many different things. So I'm coming here, and not only am I learning that, but I'm learning how to navigate through that effectively. How do I speak to somebody from this country, somebody from that country, I'm coming from North America, I'm like this, straight to the point. You can't do that. You have to do a little bit of a certain kind of people from a different culture. You have to do a little bit of like a social dance before you get to the point. You have to manage certain things. So these are things that I'm learning, but not just, this is not about like acquiring skills. This is about being able to be in a certain way where I'm able to take on so many things. I'm not generating the stress. So like this stress manufacturing center in my brain, I've like shut it off. That lever where it's on, I pulled it down to off. This is huge, man. Like, think about it. People are like 60, 70 years old, and they are like having blood pressure issues and this and that. I get it, it's medical, but not necessarily for everyone. For some people, they're just creating these things by themselves. That, like research shows 95 to 99% of all these medical issues that we have, they're not infectious, they're inflammatory. It's inflammation. We're causing ourselves simply because we don't know how to manage our systems. But Sadhanapada is giving me this incredible opportunity to be able to do different kinds of work, and with the schedule that I'm maintaining, how to keep myself in a certain way, that I don't get flustered, that I don't create this inflammation. Another way to call this inflammation is it's friction, right? So we're talking about like friction. There's used to be like a certain kind of a friction in doing work. I'd be like, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. And or even doing my practices. But now my practices just happen without effort. I'm like, okay, you do my practice. There's no like this friction that I have to go over. Like in physics, we have like, let's say you have an object. Like my phone is like on this table, let's say. So right now it's stuck. So I have a certain amount of friction that I have to push through static friction to get it going. And there's kinetic friction that I have to push against. So essentially, that friction is there. But if you have a smooth surface, there's no friction, so it just flows. So just like this, the kind of internal friction that is there is just gone when it comes to having to do my practices or certain kind of tasks that I know I need to do in order to progress a certain project to its deadline. This kind of friction just goes away. And the way it goes away is by turning up the intensity. This isn't my experience. I don't know. I don't really know about like, how it works for in general, whatever, but this is what I'm seeing. So turning up that intensity. And I mean, that's one of the three things that they say Sadhanapada is about, allowing one to establish balance, clarity, and intensity. So like, these are some of the things. I noted down. One thing is like when something powerful happens, I sometimes like I note it down. So let me see.
Abhishek Anna's hidden notebook. What all is written inside that? Give us the spicy stuff. Oh my god, this is like paragraphs.
So I think I'll talk about like this one major breakthrough I had in maybe the third week of Sadhanapada, third or fourth week.
Tell us about the
That's it.
fighting stuff. What is this? Where did we want the friction stuff?
Oh, you want the
then only the I'm just kidding.
This is actually very related to that, but this is something that happened early on. So I'll just tell you a long story short.
Give us the Indian masala, like Sadhguru says. Masala.
Yeah, let me tell you about this breakthrough, and then we'll dig deeper into the masalas. You ask me specific questions, and then I'll tell you. Basically, I wanted to really do Sadhanapada last year, but I couldn't come because of certain situations. For those of you that really want to know, you can check out our podcast, Vaisakh and I did.
I still have to timestamp it.
But that's okay. We can have the link in the description or something. I don't know, whatever, however podcasts work. It'll be.
You can put in the description.
Yeah, anyways, it'll be in your podcast. They can just go and type Abhishek in your podcast list and just like find it. So it's not even that hard. So basically, let's get back to it. I wanted to do it, I couldn't do it, and I held on to this one thing like really tightly. Like I gotta do this program because I saw like the video on it, and I was like, dude, this is something that I need because I was always about like how do I make myself better. That's it. How do I make myself better? That's the only thing that matters in life. Whatever you do is like whatever you do, but it's who you become. Whatever you do just happens. Okay, cool. Success, not success, whatever. It's not in your hands. But who do you become? That's in your hands. Who do you become by doing what you do? So I knew Sadhanapada would make me into a certain way that I'd be able to be impactful and all these things. So that didn't happen. And then I came to the US ashram and all these things happened. You guys can watch the whole podcast if you're curious. Anyways, I started Sadhanapada here finally.
I will tell the short story. Went to US ashram, got kicked out, came to Indian ashram. That is the
He's lying. I didn't get kicked out. That's like absolutely not what happened.
That's the
You
truth.
should not.
That's the truth.
No, no. Let's not spread these kinds of rumors. People will think like weird stuff. They'll be like. Anyways, they get this joke. It's like 3-4 weeks in. I was doing my practice, and all of a sudden, I had like this big this big realization. I was like, okay, before this point, I was wondering like, what if there's this whole situation, there's all these different kinds of issues. What if I have to leave and I can't do Sadhanapada? Like, it's like what I really wanted, and I'm here, and like I was thinking this as I started the program, my 3rd, 4th weekend. And then coming out of my practice one day, I was like, I felt like I was at a peak of some sort, and I felt so good. I'm like, dude, what does it matter? It doesn't mean anything. Whether I'm here or whether I'm not here, Sadhanapada is not about being in this Isha Yoga Center necessarily. Yes, it makes a big difference, it helps, but it's about the commitment that I'm committed to my growth, that even if it doesn't happen this month, I have to leave,
Can you speak a little louder, Anna? Yeah.
Yeah, if I have to leave due to the situation or whatever, it doesn't matter because I'll continue to work on my growth and I'll continue to grow. And I have the tools that have been given to me with the Isha Yoga programs I've taken, the Sadhanapada program, whatever we had done until that point. That's when I realized I was like, I felt so good. It's like this big ball of friction that
I think you need to come closer to the screen. Your mic is on the screen, not there.
Mic is on the screen. Is it better now?
Yeah, now it's better. Yeah.
What? This is not working?
Yeah.
Okay. I even changed my mic. Okay. Did you hear everything, or did you get cut off somewhere?
No, that was all good, but it was getting lower. That's why I asked you.
Yeah. So basically, it's just when I say like big ball of friction, it was like this one thing that was preventing me. Like I literally kept myself miserable inside. Like one thing, like I really wanted this one thing. It's not happening. And when it did happen, it didn't feel like such a big deal. It felt good, but it wasn't like that big ball of friction went away. It's like there has to be something more, something else. But then it was until that point, after coming at my practice like 3-4 weeks in, that I realized, I was like, man, it doesn't matter if I'm not able to do this because of whatever situation and I have to go. I'm here, I've learned the tools, I'm gonna apply them no matter where I go. And I just like dropped this ball of friction. Another way of saying is like it just dissolved. I felt so good. And since then, I felt so light. Man, I like.
I think that's a great insight, because a lot of people message me, I didn't get to go to Sadhanapada. What will I do? My life is over. I think this will be great for those people, because
Yeah, no, honestly, like, so in that sense, like what I wish I had done, I'm not giving advice to anyone, but maybe someone might be curious, what would I have done like differently at that time that I wasn't able to come? What I wish I had done differently is taken my practices more seriously and committed to them. Because coming to Sadhanapada, especially in India, you have to sit on the floor with your legs crossed, like really frequently. I'm sitting on the floor with my legs crossed. Check that.
Show us the fitness challenge. Show us the fitness challenge. Get up.
Can't do that yet. This is my one. This is one of my goals in Sadhanapada. I gotta be able to do that here.
Are you doing Kushana Sudes or what? You are telling you would improve your sadhana.
Yeah.
Sudes.
I would definitely do it. Shut up and do your sadhana.
No,
I
I
have
don't
to do that. No, honestly, some days it does feel like you really don't want to do your practices. Like I wake up and I'm like, oh, it's okay. I don't want to do anything. My roommates are still sleeping. I'm just gonna go back to bed. It's okay. But I haven't yet missed anything. And this is really good, like, because it's not about how you feel in that moment. It's like, what did I decide that I wanted to do the next X period of time? So next 7, 8 months, 8 months this year, Sadhanapada. I want to commit to the schedule to the best of my ability. Yeah, if there's like some crazy medical thing and I'm just like, whatever, passing out, yeah, then it's fine. It's not like, it's a different thing, but I don't have anything like that. I'm just feeling lazy in the morning. Like, dude, that's not an excuse. Get the hell up. What's your problem? Just shut up and do your sadhana. Yo, shout out to Kush. Shout out to Kushana. I don't know if people are going to listen to this, but not everyone will get that reference. You can follow Yoga with Kush on Instagram.
And Facebook. Kushetra Tiwari.
Yeah,
then you will know what is it.
Yeah, he posted funny stuff. Yeah. Anything else?
I think that's good. I think we are good to go. We can keep it like this so that people.
Awesome. Yeah, and by the way, if anyone has any questions, you reach out to me or Vaisakh.
Apple snack. Don't reach out to me. Reach out to this guy. He's in Sadhanapada.
Yeah, you reach out to me. And
message in your queries. Anna, I can't do Sadhanapada this year. What will I do? Message.
Yeah, but like the main thing is like if you have any questions that regarding Sadhanapada or regarding anything like that we could kind of give our perspective on, that we can share in general with people, then it's good because then we know what kind of value we can offer to everyone who's listening and wants to get deeper into self-exploration and self-transformation. With that note, I think we'll end it.
Signing off.
Signing off.
Okay, bye.
Apple Snack Productions.
Apple
See ya.
See ya.